we finish this part, we will have an assignment for this part here, which is a Civil 3D assignment, 5% of your final mark. And I know some of you will start to get excited. Assignment and midterm exam, and that's too much. However, I'm going to publish it as soon as possible, probably sometime today. But the good news is the deadline will be end of March. End of March, which means you will have almost a month to solve it. Really, my advice for you is do it as soon as possible, because simply you apply whatever you learn in this class and the last class. Uh, and the more you delay, then you have to go back and review all the steps. The best if you can do it as soon as possible. But again, it's up to you. I will give you a deadline 1 week after the midterm exam. You guys remember the midterm exam is, I think for you guys, is the 18th of March. So you add 1 week. So this will be your deadline will be around 26. Typically, I make my assignment Friday midnight. So it will be around March 26 midnight. So there is a plenty of time to solve your project. Okay, so I still have 50 minutes in my class or so, or 45 minutes, and I have something to teach you today. It's a Civil 3D. So please go to your D2L, because I want you to download a file from D2L. So go to your D2L like I'm doing right now. Log in, go to your surveying course, like so. Then go to content, and then under module number 3, so we have a new module which is very short. It will start now and will finish in 40 minutes. Very short module, and it's basically a Civil 3D training. It's called Curve Computation and Layout. So I want all of you guys to download those two files. The tutorial itself, which is a PDF file that contains all the discussion we will have in the next 40 minutes, plus a file called HC, and it's a drawing files. Please go ahead and download both of them, and please also on your AutoCAD or Civil 3D open the HC file. HC file. I'll give you a couple of minutes until you download everything and get yourself ready. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys are ready right now. Really, this HC file, it's nothing more than a line work in green here. And this is simply let's say a design of a road center line, which is not you, huh? Like somebody did a road design, and this CAD file was given to you. So this module is about layout, and layout in surveying or stick out. So sometimes we call it stick out or layout. That is a very common thing in surveying, which is a step required for any construction process. Okay, anybody in the class share with me what do you think about stick out? What does it mean? Stick out or layout, what does it mean? No help? Okay, I'll help myself. So stick out is a reverse process of surveying. You guys remember in the first year course, surveying was about this, huh? You have something on site, like let's say any feature, like manhole, electrical post, any feature. And what's the question? The question is, what are the coordinates of this point? So we need to find where this point in space. Give me X, Y, Z, or easting, northing elevation. And what you do next is you take these numbers like the easting, northing elevation and simply create a map. Because a map is simply you start with importing the points in the right location and then finish it like what you learned in my class. Now, what do we do with the map? We simply give our map to a designer. For example, like highway designer. The designer will put all the principles and all the rules for highway design and come up with the best design. Let's assume that what you see on my screen is the best design for a road. Now the question is, where is my road right now? Where is my road right now? Is it still on the map or it exists on site? Any help? Where is my road right now? Does it exist on site or it just some line work on my AutoCAD? Guys, you're so quiet today. I need some help. Thank you so much. It is some line work on my CAD. Now, the stick out process, what it does, it simply takes your line work in AutoCAD and simply place these points in the right location on site. So remember, when a company trying to build a road, there should be someone to tell the company your road will go here and then turn there, show exactly where the road should go. For example, let's say a different example. Let's say someone designed a building and the building will rest on some piles. Okay. Now should be someone who goes into the site and then ask the rig or tell the rig you need to place a pile here in this location. Okay. This is the surveyor. From the design, we know the location of everything on my design, but those locations are not sticking out on site. Okay, this is a very common task if you work for a surveying company or a construction company and you are supporting a crew of surveyor. This will be your everyday task. Prepare some layout data. Prepare some layout data. I'll show you in today's class a couple of examples, one on road and one on building. And you can simply expand the discussion to virtually anything else. Now let's start with the road. So here I have a road, and the road is simply a simple polyline. You can see it's a straight line, a curve, a straight line, and a curve, and so on. You cannot deal with this polyline on Civil 3D because Civil 3D doesn't know polylines. There is another thing that Civil 3D knows, which is alignment. So first step is you need to turn and create an alignment that follows this green line. We've done it already when we estimated the volume. We already know how to define alignment. Let's do it one more time. So you go from menu alignments, and then you go to create alignment from polyline, like so. From menu alignments, you go create alignment from polyline. Then what you have to do is always read the command line. So the software right now is waiting for a selection, is asking you to select the polylines. So here we go. I'm going to click here. And again, if we have so many polylines, great. Let's keep selecting. And what I did here is I gave you only one polyline. So everything is connected. Everything is joined. Okay, and that's why there is nothing else to select. I am going to hit enter. Please see and look at the alignment as I hit enter. See what happens. There is something has happened. Anybody is able to see what's the new thing on my screen?
The arrow.
The error.
The arrow. So this arrow, every alignment in Civil 3D comes with a direction. So there is must be a start and an end. So looks like my software is trying to define alignment going from the west and ending at the east. Okay. If you like it, great, hit enter. If you want to reverse it by starting your alignment on the east side and then end at the west, then you can just type in R for reverse and hit enter. You know what? I'm happy. I'm going to hit OK. Then you can see we end up with this window. We've done it before. It is called here my alignment. I can, for example, call this one Sarcee Trail. Okay, typically we call alignment with the name of the road or our design, Crowchild Extension, Sarcee Trail, whatever. So here is the name of my alignment. Next is alignment. Excuse me. Excuse me. Anybody's trying to say something?
No, sorry, I forgot to mute myself.
No worries. So next is we have type of alignments like center line alignment and other alignment. In this exercise, it doesn't matter. I'm going to choose center line alignment. There are some other optional settings, like for example, like site. So we have no site here. So I'm going to leave it at none. The style, which controls the color of the alignment and if it's continuous or dashed, I will leave it as proposed. It doesn't matter. There are some few existing styles, but again, for this exercise, I will choose any one. It doesn't matter. I want to show you some labels. So you can see here, I'm adding some labels. You can add all of them, or you can even add major and minor. It doesn't really affect my exercise. And finally, here, the software allows you to add some curves if you want. My curves are there already, so I'm going to deactivate this option. I will simply erase my existing entity, which means if I hit OK, this green line will go away, will be deleted. Okay, so a name, everything here is optional, and then erase and hit OK. What happened here is that the software right now has turned my green polyline into an alignment. So this is an alignment. And you can see the alignment comes with lots of labels. So those are called stationing. And it's kind of messy, Messy because it's too much. The frequency of the stationing is so high. I'm going to do something not really for the exercise. I can finish my exercise right now, but I want to make it clear for you. So I will simply change the frequency of my stationing. I'll show you how. And again, that's optional. I will click here on the label themselves, then I'll right click, then I will go to edit alignment labels. I'm trying to reduce the frequency. There are so much text on my plan view. So if you go click on the labels and then right click and go to edit alignment labels, then I think almost all of you guys will figure out how to change the frequency of my stationing. Any help? Which number should I change?
The increment.
Increment. So I will go here. I will edit this number. I will make it 100. It means add as a major station at 100. And this one, I will make it at 50. Then we'll hit OK. And see what happens when I hit OK. Now things become very clear. I have a major station, which is a tick plus a station every 100 meter. And every 50 meter, I have a small tick, which is minor station. Those are unlike major and minor contour lines. Those are major station and minor station. Now I'm ready right now to start building and creating creating some layout data. Now, one of the methods that we typically use, which is very easy, if we're able to create a civil 3D point, on the center line of my road, then I can export these points to my surveyor. My surveyor can take the file and simply upload it to data collector and start laying out these points. Okay, so that's option number one, but that's not the best option. I will show you one more option later on. Let's create some points on the center line. So what we do is you go from menu points, and you guys remember we've used this kind of couple of times, huh? We used the same window here or this menu here a couple of times. One time when we imported points and one time when we added tables. Today you will have more on the same window or menu. So we go here to create points dash alignments. And you can see we have so many ways of creating a point in Civil 3D. One of them is with respect to an alignment. So create points dash alignments. Even under dash alignment, there are probably more than 6 options. For example, I will cover maybe one of them or two of them. Station offset, this one here, you need to enter what is the station of the point and what is the offset of the point, and it will create one point at a time. It's not really handy because if I want to create points every 25 meters for 10-kilometer road, you know what happens? You're going to spend a couple of days to do that. Okay, so the other option here, which is faster, is there's an option called the measure alignment. And this measure alignment will simply do the magic, will simply place a point for you every constant interval. Let's click on measure alignment. So you can see here I'm ready to add my points. The software is asking you select alignment. So all you have to do is you zoom in, you click on your alignment, and the software pick the alignment and is asking you a few questions. Number one is, what do you want for the starting station? You want me to place points. Do you want to start from the start, from 0? If you agree, then hit enter. If you want to start from a different station, for example, start from 1 kilometer, then you type in 1000. You know what? I will start from the beginning, so I will accept it as 0. The second question is, you want to go all the way to the end of the alignment, which is 3179.12. You want to go all the way to the end? Yes, I want to go all the way to the end. I want to create points for the entire alignment. Hit enter. Next is specify the offset, which is how far left or right of the alignment. If you want to create points on the center line, so leave this number as 0, so all your points will come to the center line. If you want to create points off the center line, not on the center line, then type a number. This number can be positive or can be negative. If you place a positive number, the points will go into the right side of the alignment. And if you add a negative number in the offset, then the points will go left of the alignment. I want to ask you a question. Guys, what is left, what is right? Any help? What is left, what is right? How can I know the left and right?
Left is top, right is bottom, maybe.
Actually, is the opposite, and I already mentioned this last time. So I said, think of yourself as driving a car from 0 to the increase of the station to the end. If you drive your car along from 0 to the end, which side will be your left?
The top.
The top.
The top, and this side will be your right. So if you want to create your points on this side, then you type negative number. If you want to create your points on this side, you type a positive number. The fact is, we do both. We create points on the left and points on the right, and also points on the center line. And I know some of you will wonder, why do we have to create points on the center line and points on the left and points on the right? Anybody can guess why we do that? Why we lay out points on the center line and on the left and on the right? Any help?
Road width,
Excuse me, sir?
considering width of road.
Yeah, after the width of the road for sure. But you know why? The reason why we create points on the center line and the left and the right is because the points on the center line, I can tell you, it will be destroyed as you place layers of soil. You guys think of it, huh? So we come to one area, there is no road at all, so we place points on the center line. And we have machines going back and forward, and trying to move soil. You think these points on the center line will stay? I bet you all of them will be destroyed. So what we do is we put points off away from the workplace or movement of my equipment to be safe, to always stay there until the end of the project. Okay? So I'm gonna give you here number. Let's say, you know what? I will go 20 meters. So this means my points will go to the right of the alignment because my number is positive. Huh? The last number is give me the interval. You want to place points, give me the spacing between them. So right now it's 10 meter, and I can tell you 10 meter is too much for road design. For road construction, 10 meter is too much, okay? And what does it mean too much? It means if I do that, I'll get so many points and it's not required. So what is the norm for road construction? We typically lay out point every 25 meter. And sometimes if you build a road in the desert, like not in nowhere, then you could lay out a point every 100 meter. Remember, when you change the frequency, like let's say you make the frequency smaller, like the interval, what does it mean? It means you end up with so many points, which means it will add to the cost of your surveying, okay? If I go with 100 meter, I add less point on site. Which one do I need? As I said, the norm is 25 meter. Let's go 25 meter. If you, by the way, building a railway, not road, railway, I'm asking you, do we lay out a point more than 25 meter or less than 25 meter? Any thoughts? If I'm laying a center line of a railway, do I lay a point every 25 meter for roads or less?
Less, maybe.
Less, because railway, it has to be more accurate, and that's why you need to lay out more points. Remember, ultimately, I need to place a point every millimeter because I'm going to make my road perfect. Huh? But the thing is, you have to be practical because adding a point every millimeter, that is, the surveyor will take forever and will cost you a fortune. Huh? So we go here 25 meter and see what happens. Do you see what happens when I hit 25 meter? There is something new has happened. Huh? You can see here, we have these points. If I zoom in, all these points starting from point 81 every 25 meter. And you can see they are not on the center line. They are offset by how much? By 20 meter. And the distance in between is 25 meter. So from point 81 all the way to the end of the alignment, we have a point here, which is 208. So the last number is 28. Remember this, huh? 281 to 208. Now, let me ask you a question right now. What should I do right now? Like I have created my points. I have a civil 3D point on my alignment, of the alignment. Should I save my file and send my CAD file to my surveyor? What do you think? Should I save my file as AutoCAD and send it to them and say, okay, you guys do it? Do you think this is a good format to send them a CAD file, or I need to do something to send it to them? Any thoughts? What should I do? Go ahead.
I think maybe we need to add something like elevation.
You know what? Typically for like layout of roads, we just go first by XY. So we place a point XY on site to tell us where the road is going. Then we control the elevation in a different step. So we keep adding layers until we go to the right elevation. So in layout, we typically do it separately, like we do only 2D, and then the elevation will be monitored during the construction. So we need only XY. But I'm asking you about the format. The drawing file as a good format for my surveyor, or should I do something to give them a good format?
North existing points.
Thank you so much. Okay, so some of my students in the last class, they said, Tahir, why don't you print a table? For example, do this, go to table and then add table and then say, okay, here is my points. Like here is my point, and then select all these points and then create a table for them. So for example, here is my table. Okay, here is my table. And then your surveyor will go here and is trying to lay out point 81. So the surveyor will have to manually input the coordinates easting and northing of point 81. Do you think this is a good idea? To give them like a drawing table? Any help? Do you think this is a good idea? Or should I be smart and give them a better format?
We should create the point file that we insert.
Exactly, sir. So it's kind of opposite of what we've done before. Remember, my surveyor gave me a text file that contains our data in a text format. We will do here the same thing. We will try to write for my surveyor a text file that contains the easting and the northing of these points. So it's kind of opposite, huh? Remember, look at this. If you go point, you go import/export. What we did is, if I have a surveying data, want to bring it in, I go import. If I have points in my drawing and I want to write a text file that contains coordinates, you can see here, I go export, huh? So it's kind of the opposite, import and export. So I will try to do that. I'll go export. And look at the export point here, huh? Look at the export point. So first is, you need to find the format. For example, you can see here, if you drop this menu, you will find the same formats that we did for the import, huh? So we can write our file as PENZD or PENZ. So there are so many formats. I'm going to leave this one as PENZD, okay? Next is, you want to say, what is the file name? Remember, you're writing a file. You are creating a new file that contains these coordinates. So you click here and start writing your file. You know, watch me. I'm going to say, you know what? Sarset Rail.
If we don't have elevations, why do we pick that format style?
You will see that it will simply add a default format.
Okay.
So it will add a default format, and the surveyor will look at the default format and will know that's off and that's not the right elevation. And again, it's up to you. If you want to export it as PEN without Z, without description, then you can also do that by simply clicking on the right format from the drop-down menu. So I'm trying here to click to call my file a good name, and take my advice. When you work, you must have kind of an organized way of naming your file. Don't just go file 1, file 2. This is really a bad idea. So I'm going to say here Sarset Rail. I'm going to say here 20 meter right, 20 meter, 20R, and then I'm going to say at 25 meter, and that's my interval, huh? And I will say open. And you can write your file as different format like CSV, XYZ, AUF, NEZ, and all of them, to be honest, are text formats. Okay, so it doesn't really matter the extension. All of them, they are text files. Okay, then I will hit OK, open, and then finally, I'm going to hit OK right now. Hit OK. And then go to my desktop, and I will just open my file and see what do I have. Do you see that I have kind of default elevation? Look at this number, -99999. Right away, all the surveyor, they know that. Once you see -9999, you know that this is a wrong elevation, kind of kind of an outlier elevation. However, we use the easting and the northing. And again, if you don't like it, you can export only point number, easting, and then northing. Now, here is one thing you have to be careful. I will show you something that it's kind of annoying. Watch this. So when I look at my tool space, I'm gonna show you my tool space. I'll just have to move things around. So please be patient. I'll try to move my tool space. Now let me ask you, how many point group do you see in my drawing? Can you count, please? How many point groups that I have in my drawing?
2.
2. Can you give me the names?
ST and road.
Road. I'm asking you guys, those point groups, which is ST and road, those are empty or they have points?
They're empty.
They are empty, and we already discussed this. I said before, if you see here a black dot, it means these point groups, they have some points. So I'm asking you right now, I have several 3D points, but those point groups, they are empty. So where are these points then? Which point group they belong to? Any help?
All points.
Exactly. So what happens here? By default, when I create new points, they go by default to underscore all points. And you can see all of the points are here. If I expand here, you can see all the points are here. Now, here is a problem. I'm asking you, what if I have another road here? Let's say another road here, and I am doing the same thing. I'm creating points along this line. I'm asking you, where do they go? where these points will go.
Into all points again.
Is that a good idea? Like, you know, when we create points, by default, you go to underscore all points. So now my all points will have a mix and match. We'll have points on Success Trail, and we'll have points on Crowchild, and we'll have points. So all the points in my drawing, they go to the same container. Is that a good idea or bad idea? And remember, look at this. When I exported my points, I simply exported everything. So there is option here, which please look at it right now. It says here, right now, if I hit OK, it will simply export all the points in this drawing, which is, as I said, in general, it's a mix and match between points on Success Trail and Crowchild and other roads in my drawing. However, I have the ability to, watch this, to limit the export to points in a point group. So you can see if I drop this menu, I have my 2 point groups. However, I'm asking you, if I click on road and hit OK, what do you think was going to happen? If I give a name here, and hit OK right now, what do you think was going to happen? Any help? Any thoughts? Remember, road is empty. Road is empty. Right now, the point group road is empty. So that's why if you hit OK right now, your file will be empty. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
So I'm going to show you right now a little trick. And this little trick, what it does, it simply populates or take a copy of these points and place them into road. So which means inside my road, we would have only these points. Watch me, please. I will show you right now how to add these points. Right now, they are underscore all points. I'm going to show you on how to move these points and place them here in road. Very, very simple. Watch this. So you click on road. You right click on road and then say properties. Did you guys see this window before? Can I get confirmation?
Yes.
Yeah, this is where we played early on. We changed the name, we changed point style, point label style. However, today we have another job to do. I will go to include. Watch this. I go to include tab. When you go to include tab, this area here allows you to include points to my point group using several options. For example, you can include points based on the description, or based on names, or based on elevation, or based on point number. Anybody remembers what was the range of my points? Anybody who is has good memory to remember what was the range of my points? What's the first number?
208.
81 to 208.
So 81, that's the start. And then I put here dash and I go to 208. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, huh? So my points, the first point was 81. The last point was 28. I'm asking you, what does it mean right now? It means, hey, Civil 3D, include for me points with number from 81 to 208. Okay, I want everyone to look at my tool space as I hit OK. Everyone, please focus here, because there is something is going to happen, huh? If I hit OK, do you see what happens? Anybody to confirm, to tell me what happened after I include my points?
And copy the points into road.
You can see here right now, road is not empty anymore. It's not empty. Right now, road has been populated by the points from 81 to 208. Okay? Now, right now, what I can do is I can go to points. I can go to import, export, and then I can simply choose my file name, file format, and I can limit my export to the point group road. In this case, your file will not be empty. The file will have all these points from 81 until 208. Okay? And by the way, for example, let's say I come here and I create points here. I create points here on this road. I will create a new point group. I will add these points to the other point group. And when I export, I will limit my export to only this point group. Are you guys following?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's do one more exercise. Let's say another designer of the same project, designed here a building next to my road, and this building was simply was simply 40 meter and 20 meter, 40 by 20. Huh? So this is my building. And so he gave me the design on this CAD file. And the building is supported on piles. And the piles, let's say it's at every 10 meter. Okay? Please be patient. I'm just doing CAD. Huh? I'm just doing some CAD work. I want to show you the location of the piles. So I will just say here, you know what? My piles are simply here and there and there, and then finally there. So simply every intersection here, it gets a pile. And so, you know what? I want to lay out these piles. I want to get my rig and tell them, like drive a pile here. Watch this. So what I have to do is I'm going to manually place points at these intersections. Then I will export these points. Please watch me. So this time I go from menu points, but my points right now, they are not respect to alignment or a surface. All I have to do is go to create points. So if you go create points, you'll get this window here and this window here. If you drop this menu, you will get exactly the same options as we get from the menu. So we can do it manually. We can do by station offset. We can do by measure alignment. So all these options are available here. So we go manual. So right now you can see I'm ready to place my points. Before I do that, I guess you should activate your OSNAP because I want to hit exactly the intersection. So I go here, make sure OSNAP is there, and then hit OK. So you can see if I click here, so you can see my point will come to the intersection exactly. You know what? I will click here on this corner. So here is my first point, second, third. I'm trying to create right now the piles, the location of the piles. Okay. And then number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So again, this is messy because the font is big and the point is big, but I have created right now 15 points on the pile location. Now I'm asking you right now, how can I get these points to my surveyor? Anybody to give me some idea on how to export these points to my surveyor? If I export right now, I'm asking you, if I do the export right now, is that a good idea or bad idea? Only the people who follow the discussion will answer this question. If I export right now, you think this is a good idea or bad idea?
Bad idea. Better to put it in a point group.
Exactly. It's a bad idea because when I export right now, the software will export underscore all points, which is the piles plus all the points on the road. So this confuses my surveyor. To do that in a good way, you need to cancel. Then what you do is I come here and I will say, you know what? I want to create a new group. So you click on your cursor on point groups, you right click and say new. It means create for me a new point group. And what you do here, you call it, for example, building piles. Okay, so I'm trying to create a group for building piles. And right away, once you create the point, you go to include, and then you simply click on this option. Do you guys remember what was the number? Anybody remembers what is the number of the point? I know that if some of you will be good, will be say, okay, 209, because that's we ended at 208 before. So my point here would be 209, and then you add 15 points. And by the way, you don't have to memorize those numbers because here is another option, which is select set in drawing. So you can also select the points by selection. So if you click here, so this window will disappear and you can manually select all the points you like to include to this. And if you hit enter, please watch this. So right now I get from 209, I get all the way to 223, which is 15 points. Let's go ahead and hit OK. You can see, look up my tool space. I have a new point group and called building piles, and it has 15 points like those because we have this dot. Right now, I can go to points and I can go and export my points, and I can limit the export to my building piles. I give it a name here, for example, building piles, and then hit OK, and then hit OK. Then let's look at the file on my desktop, building piles. You can see here I have the points from 209 to 223, not all the points. If you do that before, then you will get so many points because it's a mix and match between the building and also the road. Are you guys following?
Yes.
Okay, so in the next 5 minutes, I will give you something that it will not be in the exam, it will not be in an assignment. It is just something for you if you work for a company that does surveying. Now, here we go. What we did so far is we created a points on the road every 25 meters. Now, let me ask you, what if my client wanted to change their mind and they want different frequency or different offset or maybe another point? What should I do? Obviously, I have to repeat all the steps, which is really not really a good idea. So there is another option. Instead of you exporting discrete points on the alignment, the other option is, why don't we export the entire alignment? Why don't we export the entire alignment instead of exporting discrete points on the alignment? And by the way, this is the best way, because when you export the alignment itself, it's up to the surveyor to choose an offset of 5 meters, an interval of 10 meters. It is up to them on site because you give the alignment itself. I'm going to show you right now how to do that. But hopefully you guys agree that exporting the alignment is better than exporting discrete points on the alignment. Do you guys agree or disagree? Looks like you're tired. Looks like you're tired. I know that I teach you a lot of material, but to be honest, I like you to learn more about Civil 3D because this is something that every company will ask for Civil 3D. So if you graduate with a good Civil 3D amount, you are ready for your job. Okay? Now, again, do you think exporting the alignment is better or exporting just discrete points on the alignment?
Alignment?
The alignment. So I'm going to show you right now, which is very simple. It doesn't require any effort. You go to alignments on the tool space. And remember, my alignment was a center line alignment. This alignment here was a center line alignment. So if you expand center line alignments, you will see Sarsi trail. Look at Sarsi trail. So all you have to do to export your alignment is right click. And then you can see here, we have option called export land XML. Let's do it. Huh? So if I go export land XML and hit OK, it will simply ask me, can you give it a name? So I'll call it hc.xml and then save. Now hit open. Let's look at this HTML file, which is here. Huh? This is my XML file. So if I double click, can any one of you guys read this? If you read this, you're immortal. Huh? If you're able to read this file, you are immortal. You know, this file here is not designed for you to read. This file here is designed for the data collector to read, for total station. And it's written in a language is only read by expert. Only who is expert in total station or GPS can read this file. But I can tell you the secret. Huh? Although it looks very complicated, but this is the geometry. Huh? This is the geometry. For example, you look at this file here, we have the start point coordinates, you have the beginning of the curve, you have the radius of the curve. So this file basically tells you all the geometry of your alignment. And this file can be read by the data collector. And because the software knows the geometry, then it can simply lay out any points, whether an offset or on the center line, it doesn't matter. Okay? So this file, you can see it's called XML file. Huh? XML file. And this file here, I can tell you it can be read by most of the data collectors. Okay, so for example, if you have Leica, it can read XML files. And I think with this, I'm done. Any question before we end the class today?
So what was the purpose of like what we originally did along the road and marking those points? And then you give those to surveyors, like what what's
Good.
the point for them to mark?
Amazing question. I know. So what was the point? Okay, because you're saying I kind of contradicted myself. I taught you something and I went back and I said there is another method or better method. So here is the point. When you hire somebody to do the survey, all of them, they're not the same. There are some surveyors with basic skills that they can know what's going on, like they know how to use the data collector. So this one here, which is the discrete points, it is so simple. Any surveyor with less experience can do it. The other one, which simply reading the alignment and laying out with respect to the alignment, not everyone can do it. You only understand what I'm saying only if you have some surveying experience, really one. Okay? So I'm showing you both. If your surveyor is comfortable to lay out points from alignment, then you send them the alignment. That's the best way. But you have a beginner, let's say somebody who's just starting and trying to learn, this one is easier on the data collector. We'll just simply, okay, lay out for me point number 81. That's it. So once you click on point 80 number 1, you will start laying out the points. Working with the alignment is a little bit more complicated. Not on your side. It's at the total station or the GPS side. Does it make sense?
Yes,
Maybe,
thank you.
Maybe it doesn't, because I'm not sure. It depends on how much experience. If you have experience in surveying, you exactly know what I'm saying. I had one in the other class, but he worked as a surveyor, and he told me right away that, you know, working with alignment is not straightforward. That's not on your side. It is on the data collector side. Okay, guys, if you have no other question, as usual, I will best you, the best of the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Yes.
You too. Thank you.